I'm going to give you some time for attendance taking first. 9:30 to 11:30. Yeah, attendance. Yeah, it gives you some time to take your attendance first. So you can turn on your computer or mobile phone and click the link over here as well. So if you're using MS Team, you can click the link. Okay. Yeah, attendance. Yeah, this is week 11 already. Time flies. So yeah, it's a consultation today, and then there will be some general guidelines of how to use Turnitin. You can download Turnitin report and some sample of the attachment, etc., etc. But I'm going to give you some notification about the news and announcement first. So you can click, yeah, news. Yeah, news and announcement. Basically, again, I post the important reminder like every week. So I guess you check your Moodle, isn't it, and your email every day, and you would see the important notice there. First of all, let's say, yeah, I'm going to reminder first. Research essay soft copy submission in week 12, which means next week. Have you finished your essay? Not yet. Okay. Have you started? At least started, right? So you go to online. So apart from the online, I guess you did something, right? You elaborate a little bit more. So for the research, as a reminder, you got the message from your email as well. So every time when I post something on Moodle, that will be automatically linked to your email account. Yeah, I guess you read it already. Let's see. So there are 2 separate submissions for your research paper next week in week 12. So reminder over here, what you're going to submit. Yeah. So first, you have to submit your research paper title plus 5 paragraph with in-text citation with 1 MS Word file. And then you can find the submission link in your Moodle page. And then you have to download the similarity report, which should be less than 20%. But when is the submission deadline? This one. When? Just copy and paste here as well. When is the submission deadline? Anyone know the submission deadline? First AE lesson, which means we can click the link. Yeah, just make sure that everyone knows it. So you can find the submission link. Here, A11, right? Click it, and then you scroll it down. So there will be week 12, right? Research essay title plus 5 paragraph, just the title and 5 paragraph. There's no template, so you can just use a new MS Word file and then write the title and then 5 paragraph in-text citation. That's it, right? When is it? So you click it, you click this button. Please submit your research essay by week 12, first AE lesson, 11:59 p.m. So that will be, first lesson will be Monday, am I correct? AE 11, yeah. So next Monday, which means how many days do you have? This is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so you still have a Monday, 4 days, right? But of course, well, it seems that you have 4 days, but I do not recommend you to submit it on Monday. Why? Because after your submission, no one submitted, right? It's coming. I guess, let me check. No one submitted anything yet. Oh, some of you submitted already. Cool. 1%. Good. So you can find the similarity report. For example, someone already submitted and found a 1% over here. What you have to do would be, you check the similarity rate. It should be less than 20%, right? If you got 20 something, it's still okay. But if you got 30, then you make sure that you resubmit before the deadline, right? So again, before the deadline, you have to submit the title plus 5 paragraph. Sometimes it takes for the turn-in report, it takes around 24 hours to generate a similarity report. In other words, what I suggest you would be you submit it 2 days before the submission deadline, which means in order to be safe, you submit it tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, which means Saturday. Yeah, 2 days before, is it? 2 days before the deadline. Am I correct? Yeah. 2 days, right? Saturday. So you can check the report on Sunday, and then you make changes, and then you resubmit it on Monday. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's my recommendation. But of course, if you're very confident that you didn't really copy anything illegally, right, and you paraphrase all the stuff, then of course you can submit it on Monday. But I do not recommend you to submit on Monday because you don't really have enough time to change after you see the reports. So it should be less than 20%. Of course, this is just one of the criteria for me and for the second lecturer to judge whether the assessment is a case of plagiarism or not. So it means that I'm the first marker, and then I'm going to pass assignment to a second marker. That will be a second lecturer checking your paper as well, in order to make sure that everything will be fair, right? So that will be double marking, and sometimes we have triple marking as well. So if, for example, if the second lecturer does not agree with my marking, that will be, of course, subject meeting and a discussion, and then there will be a third lecturer coming through, and so he or she will be like triple marking as well your paper. Yep. So that will be an absolutely fair process. Yeah. But of course, if I mark it and then I pass it to the second lecturer says, okay, no problem, then that's it, right? The end of the story, right? Close file. Hopefully that will be the case. We're not so sure, so let's see. Yeah, and of course, I'm happy to help you. So please let me know if you have any question today. We're going to have in-class essay consultation. So I'm going to give you around maybe the last 15 minutes for consultation. So you can, for example, you can type your question over here. Yeah, you can ask question if you come to class. Right. Any question about the first submission next Monday? I mean, 2 days before next Monday, which means tomorrow. Any problem? Question, title plus 5 paragraph essay? No? Okay. Second submission would be other items, including part 1, declaration of original form. You can find the form on Moodle. Yeah, and then second one, the turn-in similarity reports. So you have to download the report on Monday, right? You can find the reports there. On Monday, I upload the instruction there, no worries. And then you have to print screen. Do you know how to use the print screen function? So can you check your computer? I guess it's basically at the top right-hand corner. Yeah, I'm going to use the camera to show you where's the print screen button. So if you go your keyboard, you can see the keyboard, right? Keyboard, and where is it? Here. Not so clear, I guess. There's a print screen function. Can you check whether you got the print screen function in your own computer? That's print screen, right? That's a print screen function. That's a print screen function. And afterwards, you basically print screen every page, and then you put it in your second submission. Okay. What does it say? You're no longer spotlighted? What does it mean? Anyway, okay. So print screen your training report. So let's do it together. So that's A11, right? And then you can find the second submission, right? Submission of training reports and other relevant materials in your own section. So if you click it, I upload already all the details. First of all, how to generate the training report. If you click it, right, you open it, you can find it, and then you read it in detail. So basically, you submit the file first, right? 2 days before the deadline, 2 days before Monday, which means tomorrow. You submit it tomorrow, and then you click submission button. And after submit, you should have the percentage here. and the file name over here. You can try tomorrow. Yeah, if you cannot find it, you can also remember it. So it should be okay, right? So you go to file, and then you click download here, right? You click download, that's an arrow, downward arrow over here. And afterwards, you can click current view, download it, and then that will be the whole 20 report. So maybe that will be the 4 pages. If there's 100%, which means, of course, there's the plagiarism cases. So for example, if you just copy something from Wikipedia or from Google and then you submit it, then of course 100% plagiarism cases. And again, I won't handle any plagiarism cases. So for example, late submission, the course leader, the course coordinator would handle it. Plagiarism cases, the course leader would handle it, right? Insufficient attendance, the course leader would handle it as well. So again, I'm here to help you, right, to teach and also to mark the paper. That's it. So for all plagiarism cases, I can't help you, right? So make sure that you got less than 20% of your plagiarism rates. So that's a good example. If you just got 2%, perfectly fine. Yeah, perfectly fine if you just got 2%. So the rule of thumb would be less than 20%. The golden rule, less than 20%. Okay, and then you screen cap all 4 pages. So you can use the screen cap function. So for example, you know the screen cap function? For example, I want to screen cap this page. Then I download it, right? And then I guess it's a control and screen capture, print screen, in other words. Or there's a window button. I'm not sure we can try. Control plus print screen. And then you use Word file. Let's see whether, oh yeah, great. So part 2 will be, you can see the research essay declaration original work template. You open it. And able editing. Right, so that would be page 1. Page 1, you enter your student name, your student number, and then signature. You can just type. Or if you like, you can insert your signature, but you can just type, no worries. You can just type and you tick, stuff like that. And afterwards, so that would be part 2, right? You scan the training report. You print screen, you download it, and you print screen. And afterwards, you click enter. So the second page. Oh yeah, great, you print screen. We print screen the whole training report. In order to make it look light, so you can double click, and then you click the chop function, right? You click the chop function, and then you make it smaller, right? Do you know how to use this function? Do you try it before? I guess no, not really, right? So you chop it, and then you click chop, and then you make it bigger. Stuff like that, right? So I would download your part 2, and I'm going to mark it, yeah, on part 2, right, of your paper. So I could see like your training reports. Yeah, and part 2, the second part will be the reference list, if you still remember. So you got the second page, right, and the third page, you got all the training reports, and then you got the references. Right. I'm going to give you time to practice references, and then there will be like different references. Right. So that's the second part. And afterwards, part 3, 3 reference sources. How many sources do you have to use? How many sources do you have to use for your research paper? Anyone know? Yeah. How many sources? So if you just, let me see, how many sources? If you click your group and if you search for guidelines, let's see, yeah, the research guidelines, you can just, yeah, double click. Then you download it. And then if you, yeah, go to page 2. Right. So there will be at least 3 references, right? Of course, you can have more than 3. Yeah, you know the word at least, which means that's the minimum requirement. So I got an email yesterday from some of you, I forgot who, but some of you asked me, how many words are you going to write? So I was like, if you go to page 1 of your guidelines, you would see how many words. So I would just reply you, please refer to page 1 of your guidelines. Yeah, if you have no idea how many words you're going to write. Okay. So read the guidelines carefully before you email me. So I guess probably you can find all the answer there. If not, email me. I'm happy to help. But obviously, if you ask me how many words I'm going to write, I'm going to tell you that will be on page 1 already, the words, which would be including the reference. It would include all the in-text citation, right? So for example, if you quote something and you put a bracket, right? Bracket Chen, 2020, for example, then there will be 2 words already, right? Bracket doesn't really count. Chen, 1 word, 2020, another word, 2 words already. So it includes all the in-text citation. So how can we calculate our word number? So for example, you just highlight the first from the title to the end to the conclusion, right? And then you can see the number of words over there at the bottom right-hand corner. So that will be the words, right? So you have to make sure that you fall into the word limit. Otherwise, there will be marked penalty. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, so I talk about the declaration form, I talk about the training report, the reference list. Yeah. And you have to scan 3 references, right? So yeah, I have to remind you, at least 3 sources, which means that if you want to fulfill the requirement of the course, at least 3. My personal sharing, yeah, I'm not going to give you pressure, but just my personal sharing. When I was doing my undergraduate study, I was asked to write about 2,000 words for a course, right? For one course. So 2,000 word final essay. How many references did I use? For a 2,000 essay, research essay, I used around 20 to 30 something references. And then I got an A. Yeah, that's it. So you know what I mean. Of course, this is your effort and your basically your expectation that if you want to get a higher score, you need to spend more efforts, right? That's what I'm talking about here. At least means if you want to get a pass, then 3 references would be the minimum requirement. Of course, you can use more than 3. It's up to you. How many references you want to use. That's it, right? So I would mark, again, this is not a business course, this is an English course. So I mark based on your grammar, your organization, right? And citation style, of course, that's one of the very important key ideas. And how would you support your content as well? Yeah, so I won't judge your content. I would just see how you support your content. You can use different theory, you can use different data, but it matters more will be how you support your argument, right? So, which means citation. Right? So that's why you can see we spend a lot of time, considerable time for citations. That's the reason, and that's one of the major focus that it makes our essay academic, and that's also our course title, Academic English as well, right? So we talk about academic essay, yeah. So I guess this course will be really, really important for all of you in terms of different courses as well. So you have to scan the source sites, write down the author name and publishing year, and highlight the parts you have highlighted on each scanned copy. So part 3 would be the 3 reference sources. So that's part 1, declaration form, and part 2 will be your total turn-in reports, maybe 4 pages, maybe 5 pages. And after that, you got your reference list. And the last part, the final part, part 3, you open a new page, all in one MS Word file. So part 3, references. So I got a sample for you as well. If you, let's see, yeah, if you go to the submission guideline. Sources sample of attachment with author date citation. Yeah, so let's click it. So imagine if you go to the library, or if you open a South China Morning Post, right, or BBC News or whatever newspaper, Fox News, for example, then you got bigger, right? Now you can take a picture. So basically, you can use a mobile phone, right, and you take a picture. Or if you're using online source, you can use the print screen function. You can try the print screen function, right? And you print screen it, and then you highlight the part you use, and then you include the author's name and the year. Where can you find the author's name? You can find the author's name over here, right? The name of the author, and then the year of publication, right? So if you're using, for example, 4 sources, like 4 books, for example, or 4 journals papers, or 1 book plus 3 newspaper, you just select 3, right? You select 3, and then you highlight it, and then for the third part, you just copy and paste. You paste it here, right? So for example, you paste this one. Right? Just try the print screen function again, right? And then you Control plus V, and then you got the idea here, right? You print screen, you highlight it, right? Chop, that's it. So this is the first one. Yeah, I'm going to give you time to try using Google Scholar today. No worry. Yeah, that's it. So that's it for this assignment next week. Any questions? Give you some time. So when is it? So the other relevant materials will be the second AE lesson day before 11:59 p.m. So this time you got more time, so you can have your reference list later, in other words, right? Friday, 11:59. So you still have a week, in other words, for this one, for the other submission. Okay, right. Any question, comments, difficulties? You can just type your question over here in the chat box, or you can ask me if you come to class. Yeah, you've got my email as well. You can find the research paper guidelines on Moodle. Good question, Carmen. One of my research has no author name. It's a company name. Reference, can I type the full company name instead of the author name? Exactly, that's what you need. So for example, you can use the name of the organization or the name of the article. And that's actually my second response. If you see the news and announcement. Yeah, so my short answer is yes, you're correct. You use the name of the company, or you use the name of the article. Yeah, question about APA, supplementary notes. Yeah, that's the second announcement I made. I received a number of emails how to cite internet sources, company report, exactly your question. Yeah, newspaper articles with no author, etc., etc. So of course, we covered citation style in class. We covered the most common citation style. For others, for example, if you want to quote or cite Instagram or YouTube, how could you cite it, right? I didn't talk about that in class. So you can find the APA reference guide by Polly Yu. Also, I uploaded it under week 9 on Moodle, so I just copy and paste. So if you click it, and if you download it, we can see. So for example, there are 20 pages, very detailed. Yeah. So if there's no author name, you can type Control plus F, you search, no author, for example, no author, right? You got the answer, right? If there's no author, exactly, you put the name of the organization. So that's correct, the company name, right? No author, right? What is first? No author, you put the name, right? For online presentation, you put the name, or you put the organization names like English Language Center or HSBC, right? Or Hong Kong Polytechnic University, like that. Yeah, and then we got details as well. If there's a journal article without author, how can you do and what can you do? In text citation, end of text citation. for a very detailed reference. Yeah, great. Thanks for the question, Carmen. Lovely. All right, so please make sure that you refer to the APA reference guide. Yeah, again, citation style is very important. You will be using it for 4 years, at least 2 years if you study this like associate degree for 2 years, and afterwards you study undergraduate for 2 years, so you will be using it for 4 years, normally speaking. Well, of course, if you study master later on, then 5 years. Yeah, in every course. So that's why I can't emphasize enough the importance of citation, because you have to use it in every class. Yeah, no matter studying marketing or business or organization behavior or legal study or English, whatever, right? Or sports, even sports science. When I was teaching at Patrice University, so I got some sports students. They also have to use APA, right, when they write their research paper. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so that's the announcement. So always I post the announcement here. Yeah, under AE, I put APA, right? Self-directed learning portfolio, week 13, second lesson day, 11:59 p.m. So I got a template for you, update the template. So if you click it, so you can see again, part 1, you have to print screen capture your Delta report, page 1, the results, part A. Again, I understand that some of you missed the Delta deadline, right? It's still okay, because if you miss it, it would be just around 1%, as I said, just 1% of your total score. So it's still okay. You missed part A, you can still do part 2, your self-reflection. Yeah, I'm going to give you time. No worries, I'm going to give you time in class to do it. Yeah, let's say in week 13, because you have to submit it when? Yeah, week 13. So you can find the submission link again in your own group. So this is your own group, and if you open it, submission of self-directed learning portfolio, click it. For Friday, 4th of December, 11:59 p.m., which means the end of our lesson. We got 13 weeks. Right, so you can see the template. You just follow the template. All right? Yeah, any questions? Difficulties? Yeah, you still have time. For that task, I guess it takes you around maybe 1 hour or less than 1 hour. Yeah, but if you want to write a very detailed report, that would be okay. That would be very welcome. Yeah. Submission of assignment and oral presentation reminder that I sent it to you basically a few hours ago. You cannot believe that I was still working at 3, right? And then I got a morning class. So basically, I guess I'm the same as you. How many hours do you sleep normally this week, every day? Do you have 6 hours? No? Yes, you have 6 hours. Wow, I envy you. You're so lucky. I just slept for 4 hours, right? Every day, almost 4 to 5. So basically, I was still working at 3 a.m., which means like a few hours earlier, I slept for like 4. And I'm sure you're the same. Pretty sure maybe you slept at 1. Lucky, you're lucky you can sleep at like 1 a.m. Just so lucky. Because I'm sure that you have plenty of assignment. I also have plenty of marking as well. As you know, I'm also a student. I'm doing my Juris Doctor CHK. So I got many cases to read, many assignments to be completed very soon. So the same, yeah, I feel that. Reminder, submission of assignment. So never submit your assignment to Moodle in the last minute. I understand, and I received some of your email asking about the turn it in, like delay or whatever, Moodle delay. So for mark penalty, if you submit it late, regarding any technical errors, that may not be a good reason, as I was informed by the course leader. So I don't decide on any mark penalty. The course leader decided it. Yeah, so you send me email, yes, I received it from different classes actually. So they told me that, I have to wait for like 5 minutes for the delay of Moodle when I was submitting the turn it in, midterm paper, whatever. So he or she would decide. Yeah. the mark penalty. Let's see. I don't know at this moment for the mark penalty, but make sure that you submit at least like 15 minutes earlier before the deadline, right? And for the research paper, I encourage you to submit it like 2 days before the deadline because you have to wait for the training reports, right? 2 days before the deadline. Oral presentation, you still have time, so just go for it very quick. So you will be conducted, the oral presentation will be conducted in Teams meeting, right? You join a team meeting 5 minutes before your presentation time. No audience will be welcome during the presentation. So basically you just attend according to your time slot. Yeah, your time slot, you can find the time slot in Moodle, and then you can find your own group. Right, so this is A11, you click A11, you open it. And then I delete all of your contact information already in order to protect your privacy. So you cannot find any contact information. So you can find your own name and own group, and also you got the presentation schedule using MS Teams discussion room. You just need to attend according to your own section, right? So for example, group 1 cannot and should not enter group 4 discussion. So just attend your section using your own discussion room. You cannot enter any section, right? You cannot be the audience, right? Yeah, so you can imagine this is a private like company meeting with your potential investor, the big boss, for example. The big boss is going to invest 10 million to your company. So what would you tell him about the company structure, the vision and mission, your financial statement, and any product line, etc., etc. Okay. Right. What else? Student need to broadcast the PowerPoint. I'm going to give you time next week to have your rehearsal, yeah, by yourself, of course. So using the MS Team, so you can check your mic and camera. So it will be video recorded. And what if your camera doesn't work? Oh my gosh. So not only you, but your team would suffer. Because if you, just yourself, cannot use the microphone or camera, the webcam, so if your webcam doesn't work at the moment, all of a sudden, you cannot present, which means that not only you will be losing the presentation score, but your team members will suffer as well. Because, for example, if you're responsible for the product line, and you cannot present your product line, right? So your team member would miss the whole part of the presentation because you'll be losing, of course, the whole total presentation score, but your team member also suffer from the fact that your web camera doesn't work, right? So as far as I understand, you have to actually show the whole face and your mouth when you're going to present. So I guess maybe you have to find a safe place. I don't know, at school, you have to like sit really far away from each other, and then you have to unmask yourself. Or I would recommend you, maybe you do it at home, right? So that would be safe in some sense. Okay, so you can do it at home, right? Or yeah, I don't really mind if you come to school and you do it, but you have to make sure that like you are having like a safe social distance, isn't it? Because of the case here, the coronavirus pandemic, very unstable at the moment. Yeah. Okay. Any question? Any questions or difficulties? No. If not, then it's your time to practice. We have a final practice of citation style today. So if you go back to, I guess you save it in your own computer already. Documenting sources on the week 8. Yeah, on the week 8, we talk about documenting sources. So you can download the teachers, the student version. Right, click it and you open it. Yeah, that's in your combined group, Academic English Business 1. So I'll give you some time to download it first. Right, combined group, and you scroll that down. Of course, if you save it in your own computer, that would be great. Yeah, you can use the existing version of yours in your own computer. Documenting. You know, you can use the Control F function. So the Control F function, and then you can search. Then you can have the name documenting student. Right. documenting sources student. You click it. Yep. All right. Let's see, we still haven't finished the last part, the final part, which is a practice of the all citation style. So your task will be in-class practice today. Yeah, we're using APA style, so we do not use MLA. Yeah, we do not use MLA. APA reference style, combining skills. Read the following articles, write a short paragraph of at least 100 words in response to the topic high school graduate should take a gap year before entering college. So we have 2 articles, right? But before that, let's do some discussion first. First of all, yeah, what is a gap year? You know a gap, right? When you travel by MTR, there's a gap, right? Before you enter the train, you got a gap. Gap year means, for example, you take a year off before you enter HKCC, for example. After your DSE, you can take a year off. That's what we call a gap year. But what can you do for gap year before enter HKCC? Maybe you want to relax, right? Totally relaxing, maybe a holiday, 1 year holiday. We are not talking about like 1 week, 1 year, for example, a gap year holiday. Traveling to Europe, Australia, UK or US, or work, right? You find a jobs, right? Different jobs, different part-time jobs or full-time jobs. Or you help, you do volunteer work. Maybe you help the poor, right? You visit elderly homes, right? You're selling flag, right? You sell flag selling, right? You help in the poor, donation, money donation, right? You collect money, selling flags, right? Getting jobs, helping the poor, or just relaxing, or working holiday, right? I'm not so sure whether you like working holiday. The idea of working holiday, going to Australia, for example, and work there for maybe sometimes a gap year can be less than a year. Half a year can be also a gap year. So maybe 1 year is too long. What about 6 months could also be regarded as a gap year, right? Gap year holiday for 6 months is actually really long already. So discussion point would be, what is the advantage or what are the advantages and disadvantages of having a gap year, right? So in your team, we have group discussion. You can use your discussion room. Yeah, I'm going to give you around, let's see, 10 minutes. So first of all, you have to think about, positive side of a gap year, the negative side of a gap year, and afterwards, will you join or will you take part? We say, will you take part? Yeah. Will you take part? Yeah. 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 Why and why not? I guess this is not a very common concept in Hong Kong. Do you have any friends who are taking gap year at the moment after DSE? No? No, not really. I guess this is not a very common concept in Hong Kong, but in America or in the States, United States, right, or in the UK, people are basically quite common to take a gap year. Even, for example, if you finish year 2, undergraduate study, if you finish year 2, you can take a gap year, 1 year off, before you move on to year 3, right? So you study in university, after year 2, you apply for extension for 1 year, working overseas, or having a holiday overseas, working holiday, right? And afterwards, you come back, you finish year 3 of your study, and then you graduate. Very common in America, but is it common in Hong Kong? May not be very common, but why not? So give you 10 minutes, this is 10:14, right? So give you 10 minutes, you can use the discussion room and unmute, you can try to unmute yourself, and also afterwards, can you find a leader in your team? So every group got a leader, you can share your view afterwards. So we can take turns and share. We have 6 group, right? Yeah. Minutes to 10. This 10 minutes would be a lot, but yeah, let's say 10 minutes. You can come back earlier if you finished. Yeah, maybe 10 minutes discussion time. So now you can enter your group discussion room. Please come back at 10:25. Great. The time here is not really accurate, but anyway. Okay, discussion room, you can unmute, type. Yeah, your own discussion room. In other words, I'm going to turn my camera off. In 10 minutes. Yeah, you can unmute and you can find your own team members.